Welcome back to Badger Witch Tarot. Tonight I'm not going to be doing a reading. What I'm going to do is just flip through my two favorite tarot decks and talk about them a little bit. This is meant to just be a nice, relaxing video that you can just listen to and cozy up and enjoy. So grab a beverage. I'm drinking peppermint tea in my favorite mug my best friend got me. Gonna take a sip. I'm not usually a big tea drinker, but I enjoy herbal tea every once in a while, especially peppermint. So I've got a candle here. I know you can't smell it, but it smells amazing. It's this sweet, woodsy scent. And I've got my pyrite heart. I love this crystal. And my selenite sphere. And the two decks I am going to be flipping through are the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake, and the art is by Elizabeth Alba. And the other deck is the Light Seer's Tarot by Chris Ann. And these are the two decks I use the most. They're the ones that I'm most comfortable using, and I love them both. So I'm going to start with the Everyday Witch deck. And this is the back. I love this deck, especially as I identify it as a witch. So it's kind of wonderful to see the imagery of witches and cats in every card. I love the art. It's so easy to read. Even if you're new to tarot, this is a really great deck. And it has a very approachable energy. Just very not intimidating. Some tarot decks have a kind of intimidating energy about them, but this deck is really, really lovely. And the imagery follows the Rider-Waite pretty closely, minus the, witches and cats, of course. Look at the cat in the sidecar in this one. Isn't that amazing? And this deck I don't usually read reversals with. It just doesn't, it doesn't really, I don't feel that pull to read reversals with these, and they never come out reversed for me. I only have a couple decks that I read reversals with, actually. This one has a dog in it, too. The Empress. But it's just, I love the full color. I love the borderless cards. And they're relatively thin cards. I mean, they're good quality, but they're relatively thin and kind of standard to smaller sized, I suppose. They're easy to shuffle. And I'll show you in a minute the box it came in. I actually prefer to keep my tarot cards in bags or in cloth or in boxes that they didn't originally come in. I don't know why. That's just a personal preference. I don't know. The original boxes just feel kind of commercially to me. But there's nothing wrong with keeping them in the original boxes. That's a perfectly good thing to do, and it keeps them very organized and safe. But I just like to keep them in other things. Well, except for, I guess it's not a rule for me. I do keep my Oracle cards and the Light Seer's Tarot in their original box. Although currently the Light Seer's Tarot I've been keeping just open on my bedside table because I pull a card every morning. I love the cats in these cards. And I love the people too. It's not always witches in the cards, though there are a lot of witches in the cards. So these could be used like by anyone. You don't have to be a witch. You don't have to believe in that or anything. And these are very versatile, I feel. You can use them for a variety of readings, and they're accurate and from serious to lighthearted. They're just a very reliable, clear deck. I definitely recommend this deck. It's, like I said, it's really easy to use. Not intimidating at all. I'd love to know if any of you have a favorite tarot deck. And these are like slightly shiny, which can be a little troublesome sometimes when I'm filming or taking a picture of them. But it's not too glossy. I love, and I mean, it's true to its name, the Everyday Witch Tarot, because the witches and people in the cards are often going about pretty everyday activities while still following the Rider-Waite system, you know, with everything. I love this. This has a dragon. That's amazing. And you'll see when we come to it, I love the Queen of Wands in this deck because she is using a dragon as a throne. And if that is not the most Queen of Wands thing I have ever seen, I don't know what is. But I love it. I love that anyone could read it. I love that there are cats. Oh, here it is. Isn't this just fabulous? I love this. I love this depiction of the Queen of Wands. And I love there's like lots of little things going on in the scene as well. I like this Ten of Swords too, because there's some hope going on there. Like, clearly she's been through it, but she's reaching for her broom. She's ready to get back up. I like that. I like that bit of determination and hope in the Ten of Swords. I like the rounded edges of the cards, too. They don't poke you when you shuffle. Although most decks have the rounded edges, but this is a very positive deck, actually. I've noticed, you know, there's, even in the negative cards, there's still a positive element to them, which I think is really great, because I think it highlights how even the roughest situations are temporary, and there's always hope. Oh, I love this Lovers card too. But yeah, so pretty easy to shuffle, even for me, and because I'm kind of a clumsy shuffler. I say as a card flies across the room. Yeah, so the box it comes in is this kind of box. And I love the guidebook. It's a full-size, full-color guidebook. And all the explanations are really helpful. And I like how they describe the image as well. And there's places for notes. It's a great guidebook, actually. Yeah, so all in all, I really have nothing negative to say about this deck. I love it. I use it all the time. Yeah, good stuff. Gonna take another sip of tea. Okay, so I've got the Light Seer's Tarot. And the Light Seer's Tarot is a great deck. It's also very versatile. It's also very approachable. Actually, I'm going to show you the box and the book first this time. So the box it comes in is this little box, which I kind of love the more compact box. And like I said, it's by Chris Ann. And I love on the inside, it says, "And into the gray we follow, like 1,000 flickering stars. And there in a sunlit hollow, we lose and find what is ours. Dear light and shadow seer, may this deck help you to find what is yours. XO, Chris Ann." Isn't that lovely? And I love the little book. I love how, probably my favorite thing about this book, it has great explanations. Okay, a few things that are my favorite. So it has the Light Seer and Shadow Seer, so you can read reversals with this deck. And the whole idea with this deck is really just how we have both light and shadow in us, and they're both healthy parts of our being, and they're both parts of us that we have to explore. So the upright position is the Light Seer, and the reversal is the Shadow Seer. So it has that, and it has some keywords, and then it has the explanation. And then my favorite part is there are affirmations at the end of each entry. So, for example, for the Sun card, "I am whole. I am more than enough. I shine like the sun when I am happy." This deck is so positive. And of course, it has your typical Rider-Waite system. So, you know, so I don't really think any card is truly negative, but the darker cards, I should say, you know, it has ways to work through that energy. So this is a great guidebook. So this is the back. I kind of like the simplicity of it. And the art for these cards is absolutely stunning. These also do not have borders. And it's just it's just stunning. Your everyday people. There's no real like magic element or supernatural element to these cards. They're all everyday people, which is really cool. And they're just so emotional and evocative. You really feel something when you look at these cards. you get a real intuitive feel from them. And this deck, you really get the feeling, oh, look at that Queen of Wands. You really get the feeling that this deck has your back. So this is also a very reliable deck. I think that's why I love it so much. It's positive. It can help you work through whatever you have to work through. That's such a cool one. And these are about the same size as the Everyday Witch deck, maybe slightly bigger. These strike me every single time I look at them. I'm just like, oh my God. You just get so much emotion from these cards, I say as I look at the Ace of Cups. They're also quite easy to read, I feel like. I think their meanings are pretty clear. But the art is just so beautiful and approachable. I definitely recommend this deck. And actually, I'll see when we come to it. What made me buy this deck is I saw a picture of the Two of Cups, and I just was like, I have to have it. Oh, that's a gorgeous card. These cards are a little thicker than the Everyday Witch deck. They're pretty easy to shuffle too. But yeah, they're a little thicker than the Everyday Witch deck. Not really thick, but just a little thicker. But yeah, I use this deck every single day. I pull a card every morning and write it down. And as I said, the element of light and shadow is the main theme in this deck. I actually really love this Tower card. I know that's kind of funny to say that you love the Tower card, but like I love that there are butterflies and there's, you know, the acorn at the bottom, and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is intense, but new life. rebirth, transformation coming from it. I love that. The Three of Swords in this deck is absolutely heart-wrenching. I think it's the most emotional Three of Swords I've ever seen. And I'll show you when we come upon it. But it took me aback when I saw it. Oh, I love this. And I love that she put rebirth there as well, because that's such a big part of the death card. And I love, too, that there's, you know, a wide range of ethnicities in the depiction of the people in these cards. And ages, too. Here it is, the Two of Cups. This is just the most gorgeous card. Oh. Yeah, so this is the reason why I bought this deck, was because of this card. How stunning. I'd love to hear if any of you have a favorite card as well. Whether it be in this deck or in any deck of tarot cards. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Magician. That's one of my favorite cards. I like Strength, too. There are so many, it's hard to pick. But usually the Magician in almost any deck is one of my favorites. Oh, this is such a good depiction of the Nine of Swords. I love that bird of light fighting the ones of shadow. This, with her long neck and like her nose and everything, this reminds me of Nefertiti. That bust of Nefertiti. I actually went to college for art history. Not what I'm doing now, but it's funny because I wasn't into tarot then when I was in college, and it's interesting because you use a lot of the skill. And I mean, intuition is a big part of tarot, but as far as interpreting images goes, it's interesting because, oh, here's the Three of Swords. Oh, that's so intense. Wow. But what I was saying was, you use a lot of that interpretation of image that you do in art history, and recognizing colors and symbols and all of that good stuff. This Ten of Swords makes me so nervous. I don't know if it's the coloring or like the birds circling her, but I don't know. This is such a, like, gives me such an ominous feeling. There's the Magician. Oh, look at that. That's just so beautiful. Yeah, so that is the Light Seer's Tarot. I love this deck. See, it is a little thicker than the Everyday Witch. Yeah, so that's that. I hope you found this relaxing and enjoyable. And I hope you have a lovely night or day or whatever time of day it is. And thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And there will be more pick a card readings to come soon. Thanks so much.